Welcome to the regular City Council meeting of the City of North Oaks. It's Monday, April 22, 2019. We have a new... Next is citizen comments, and I appreciate that there's a lot of folks here. I want you to listen carefully to how citizen comments work. Individuals may address the City Council about any item not included on the regular agenda. Speakers are requested to come to the podium, state their name and address for the record, limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Generally, the City Council will not take official action on items discussed at this time, but will typically refer the matter to staff for a future report or direct that the matter be scheduled for an upcoming agenda. That's where we are at present. Is there any citizen comments at this time? Okay. Before anyone else gets up there, I'm going to repeat the rules here a little bit because no one was listening the first time. Apparently, or at least some people were not. If the item is on the agenda, then we don't need a public comment, because if a public hearing is scheduled, you can make your comment then. But if you have some specific comments or concerns, feel free to come up outside of what's on the agenda tonight.
Excuse me, are we beyond 3 minutes?
No. I don't mind. Let them talk. It's fine.
I'm not
let 'em
trying to
talk.
get rid of Noah.
Yeah, but go ahead.
The current
You can
mayor
continue.
has raised.
Thank you.
When I
Oh,
clap.
I was gonna add an additional rule for tonight that might be different than the planning commission rules. We aren't gonna have applause or high fives or derisive laughter, which we've had in our planning commission meetings in the past, irrespective of the comments made by the person. So you can applaud that time, but after that, don't do it again. All right, thank you. Go ahead.
For what?
No applause.
What are you gonna do to us if
Oh,
we what?
I'm sorry. I'm in charge of the meeting. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
I wondered if, after new business, you could set aside a period of time for comment or questions from the citizens.
Well, what we usually do is we have an agenda. So, I mean, we really wouldn't add to the agenda item, but if you have something you want to bring up that's not on the agenda right now, then you're welcome. If there's a requirement to have a public hearing, then we'd have that. And I don't think there is one scheduled for this meeting, because there's no decisions to be made tonight.
Decision, I'm asking whether the people who are attending this meeting may ask questions following the new business presentation.
Well, that's not kind of how it works. Yeah, this is a
Well,
city council
You
meeting.
are in charge of the meeting.
Right.
So I'm
Dave
asking you if you
Magnuson, could you
can,
help us out here?
Yeah, maybe they don't understand how this works.
no, I understand.
So you're not telling me what you want to talk about, for instance. That's why we have an agenda, so we can keep it under control. What do you want to talk about?
I haven't asked to talk about anything specifically, only to hear
Specifically, what do you want
have
to talk
say.
about, though?
No, to hear what you have to say, and then to have a period of time to respond or ask questions.
Consider that. Thank you.
Does the mayor have the discretion to provide that time period?
Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Or to deny it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Is there anyone else that wants to talk?
Trying to figure out once it comes to the city council, what should we anticipate? Should it,
Well, first of all the public meetings have taken place
Excuse me.
before the planning
To
commission.
save his voice.
Yeah.
Could you help us?
Maybe.
Version.
okay,
You couldn't redline it.
okay.
Yeah. So you were able to see the old ordinance and the new one.
That's right, because I
Good.
did the work.
'Cause that's
Because
important.
if you look at the agenda,
Yeah.
all it says is you're discussing the composition, whereas there's nowhere identified unless you actually
Right.
took the time to look into it. So
I'm glad you took the time. Thank you
Yes.
very much. All right. Is there anything else?
Well, it's your meeting, I guess I'm done.
Great. I just, if that's what you did, I'm glad you learned that.
understand.
Yep, thank you.
Specifically, I think that there should be a procedure available to unseat a mayor or unseat a council person.
I mean, currently, I feel we have a dysfunctional culture affecting our staff and council. I've seen toxic behavior by our residents. And up until 6 months ago, the Met Council, League of Minnesota Cities, they're like, how is it that you guys do it so well for so long? We were a model council, and now they're talking about getting rid of us. That's all I.
So before anyone else gets up there, I'm going to repeat the rules here a little bit because no one was listening the first time apparently. I was going to add an additional rule for tonight that might be different than the planning commission rules. We aren't going to have applause or high fives or derisive laughter. So you can applaud that time, but after that, don't do it again. All right, thank you. Go ahead.
For what?
No applause.
What are you gonna do to us if we
Oh,
apply?
I'm sorry, I'm in charge of the meeting. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, thank you. Well, that's not kind of how it works. Yeah, this is a
Well,
city
you are-
council meeting.
You are in charge of the meeting.
Anything else?
Well, it's your meeting, I guess I'm done.
Great. I just, if that's what you did, I'm glad you learned that.
understand.
Yep, thank you. We had all these comments today at the beginning of the meeting. Mr. Eklund telling everyone that I don't support NOAA. I've never spoken to Mr. Eklund perhaps but once in my life, and I'm kind of wondering where he gets that information. If he knew what he was talking about, I'd be concerned. Thankfully, he doesn't. I've been actually a steadfast defender of NOAA in many, many meetings. And once again, I don't want people commenting out there. You can pretend it's funny, but I have never said anything anti-NOAA. I know Kathy Emmons. I mean, I'm just baffled by this kind of stuff. So I'm kind of offended, actually, not baffled. So in city council, when over these many years since 2002, I'm trying to find a time when I took on NOAA and tried to denigrate them, and I'm kind of coming up short. One thing I have said, I do remember saying, is that I think their board is kind of big, and it makes it difficult for them to come to votes, but my goodness, that's more of a constitution issue than a necessity for NOAA to be in existence. So I think that's just plain wrong, and I'm kind of offended by Mr. Eklund coming up with that. I think he's been listening to the wrong people, perhaps. And then Mr. Osland, I think that was his name, Osman? Sorry, thank you, yes, I was right. So, yep, so thank you. You seem to be interested in how to remove city council members. Is there a vote that we took that you didn't like? Is there action that you took that you didn't approve of? The city.
It's the attitude.
It's the
We are
attitude.
expected to respect you and the city council.
Yeah.
As residents, we don't get respect back from you.
We haven't actually had a meeting where I've met you before, have we? No. Yeah.
I've spoken at the podium.
Okay. Well, I haven't met you before, but we haven't even had a city council meeting where we've dealt with the development issues here, and yet people seem to think that the city council lacks respect about this. We're waiting for the planning commission to complete their meetings.